Hi, and welcome to San Francisco. I'm Captain David with Spinnaker Sailing here at Pier 40. Discussing rules of the road with new students can be quite interesting, and even more interesting with so-called experienced boaters. But here in San Francisco, as new students, you guys are very lucky. Most of the boaters that I have seen out here know what they're doing, and trust me, as coming from Florida, you guys have it easy. But there are some basics you need to know as far as rules of the road. And most importantly, don't lose your common sense. For your class and your ASA 101 test, you're going to need to know some basic rights of way. We're going to cover the most common scenarios. But first, let's touch on rules of the road. Becoming a sailor is more than learning how to sail the boat. You need to pay attention to everything that is going on around you and be able to identify any possible issues. After all, being the skipper is important. You are responsible for your boat, everybody on your boat, and anything that you may encounter out on the water. The Coast Guard has written a book called Navigation Rules, and I'll be highlighting some of those rules. If you want to see the complete book, go to the link that is in the description down below. While it's not Rule 1 in the navigation rules, your number one rule should be avoid a collision. Just because you have the right of way doesn't mean you should hit someone just to prove a point. In fact, you will most likely be found at least partially at fault because you didn't avoid a collision, and you could have. Let's go to the navigation rules and see how they are based on common sense. These rules appear before any right-of-way rules, meaning these rules supersede any right-of-way arguments. Rule 5, maintain a lookout at all times. Obviously, you're going to have a helms person. If you don't, another crew member is going to be your lookout. But specifically for sailing, think of this. If you have a large jib out, from the helm, you most likely cannot see behind that jib. So you want to make sure you have somebody that can check behind there regularly. Rule 6, maintain a safe speed at all times. Now you may be chuckling, but this also applies to sailboats. Rule 7, every vessel shall use all means available to determine if a risk of collision exists, and, if in doubt, to assume such risk exists. What that means is some boats have AIS and radar. So if you have those, you should be using them, such as sailing at night. Rule 8. Rules require that actions to avoid collision shall be positive and made in ample time. Well, that means if you're going to get away from a boat, don't turn into its course. And also, don't wait to the last second. Following these rules should prevent you from even being in a possible collision situation. Okay, let's go over rights of way. But before that, let me throw two definitions at you. The boat that has the right of way is the stand-on vessel. The boat that has to move is the give-way vessel. In our first scenario, we have two boats on the same tack. The wind is coming from their port side, so both boats are on a port tack. Boat 2 is closer to the wind, therefore he is the windward vessel. Boat 3 is the leeward vessel. Because a leeward vessel is considered to have less control, he is the stand-on vessel. Boat 2 is the give-way vessel. Boat 3, the stand-on vessel, has the right of way. In our second scenario, we have two boats on opposite tacks. Boat 2 has the wind coming over his port side. He is on a port tack. Boat 1 has the wind coming over his starboard side. He is on a starboard tack. When two boats are on opposite tacks, the boat on the starboard tack is the stand-on vessel and has the right of way. Boat 2 is the give-way vessel and should fall off to starboard. According to Rule 8, he is making a positive action. Now use your common sense. Even though Boat 1 is the stand-on vessel, he can easily head up and avoid Boat 2. In this scenario, we have a sailboat and a powerboat on a collision course. Sailboats have the right of way over recreational powerboats. Therefore, our sailboat is the stand-on vessel, and the powerboat is the give-way vessel. If the powerboat has not given you a clear indication to alter his course, make your adjustment to avoid a collision in ample time. But if a sailboat is under power of an engine, even with the sails up, you are now a powerboat and the give-way vessel to other sailboats sailing. If you are both considered powerboats, the boat to the right has the right of way. Again, in these scenarios, use your common sense. Remember Rule 7. If there is any doubt, assume there is risk of a collision. In this scenario of overtaking, the boat that is being overtaken is the stand-on vessel. They have the right of way. The overtaking vessel is the give-way vessel. You will see this mostly in channels where boats need to stay between the channel markers and are under power of the engine. However, if you are sailing and you plan on overtaking another vessel, even a powerboat, you are the give-way vessel. You still need to stay clear or give way. And finally, there are many types of large and commercial vessels out on the water, and definitely in the San Francisco Bay, such as container ships and barges, ferry boats, sightseeing boats, emergency boats, and fishing boats with nets out. Use your common sense and stay clear of these vessels. There is no rights of way scenario in which the Coast Guard or your insurance provider will be happy with a collision. The best way to handle rights of way or rules of the road is this. Study them, know what they look like, use your common sense, and when in doubt, get out of the way. Understanding these 4 rules of the road should give you confidence during your classes and prepare you for your test. So until next time, cheers.